Here I am at Steiner's Pub. This is one of the places. Oh, I just backed into a mirror. Okay, leave that. Steiner's Pub right here on the strip, right down from South Point. One of 3 locations, and they all show Punchlines live at noon every day. Going inside, I'm going to get some wings, check out the atmosphere. Want to thank the owner, Roger, for being on the show. And this place is awesome. Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Look at this. Is this the place you want to eat wings and watch a game? Or you can watch Punchlines right there every day at noon. This is the atmosphere you want in a bar. This is awesome. This is Steiner's, right down from the South Point here on Las Vegas Boulevard. One of 3 locations. They all show Punchlines live at noon every day. Come here for lunch. We had unbelievable taco salads. I had some wings. Ryan had some wings that were watermelon barbecue. They were unbelievable. So thank you, Steiner's, for airing Punchlines. And if you live in Vegas, you got to come check them out. Steiner's Pub, baby. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Punchlines. Wow, I'm Frank Nicotero. Longtime comedian, lifelong sports fan. Yes, yesterday we had Roger Saxon here from Steiner's. We went over there, had some lunch, and they're showing the show. They put it on live. We appreciate them, so thank you, Roger, for coming in. And also thanks to Dom's Pizza in Trafford and Oasis here in Vegas. We're going to stop by for a tour stop there next. Ryan had the watermelon wings. They were good. I had wings that were I ate all 8 at the restaurant. Usually I bring them home. Screw it. I ate them all.
Yeah, they were the watermelon barbecue wings were really good.
Yeah, I might have to try that next time, man. Yeah, I'm pumped for today's show, baby. I am more pumped than LA Laker Austin Reeves after hitting a clutch 3-pointer late in last night's game against the Suns. All right, here's Austin. Listen to the scream. Yeah, he is him. Austin Reeves. That was that whole he is him thing with him, remember? That's a big thing now. He's him. One of one is a big one, right?
My biggest thing is that it was right in front of Grayson Allen. In Grayson Allen's face.
Grayson Allen, who no one in the world likes unless you went to Duke, right?
Duck Fook.
He's like the most hated guy in basketball.
Yep.
So is JJ Redick. It's something about the Duke guys, isn't it?
Yep.
Like the toss of the hair and shit like
the
stuff
Devils.
like that. Okay. I never swear. Wait, put a quarter in the swear jar. Anyway, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. LeBron, I had the over last night. If you're talking about nailed or failed, I was 26.5. Took LeBron. They ended with 31. And how about this? The Lakers will be playing down the street tomorrow night against the Pelicans. I mean, that's a marquee matchup. You know the NBA's happy. That's going to be a great game. They're the 5 o'clock game. They're the main game tomorrow night. There's a 2 o'clock game, which we'll talk about in a second. But I had the Lakers. I said Lakers would cover on Sports by the Book the other day. Jeff liked Phoenix.
Good job.
See, now, again, this is Ryan.
I don't like
when we
Lakers,
first started the show, Mr. Nicotero, whatever you say, now he's like, yeah, great job, Frank. Damn it.
I hope the Pelicans beat them by 20.
Now, what are the lines here? And we want to talk about the lines here. What are the lines on those 2 games, Lakers?
I'm looking at them.
Oh, I have a computer now. Oh, by the way, hey, look, I'm looking at live shots. Sean, what do you got?
They're not updated to South Point, but -1 for Lakers favorite.
Lakers are -1. Okay. They're going to have the home field advantage over New Orleans. That's okay. Home field, home court advantage. Thank you, Ann. Maybe we won't get you a microphone. Anyway, and Sean, and what's the other game? Knicks Bucks, or what is it?
Yeah.
Bucks and Pacers.
Yeah.
Goodness
Bucks
gracious.
are favored at 4.5.
All I have to do is look down at my sheet of paper, and I would have that right there. Anyway, those games are very exciting. You know, David Silver, good job. They're really exciting games, right? The courts are different, but it's
Adam Silver.
Adam Silver. What did I say? David Silver? Oh, my God. Do you know who David Silver is? No. And do you know who David Silver is? That would be Brian Austin Green on Beverly Hills 90210. His character name was David Silver. Adam Silver, who looks like an alien. Sorry, I forgot his name, but okay. Anyway, we're off to a good start here. You know what? Here's a good over that maybe we should do. And because I'm allowed to make the lines here, Chris Andrews said I can make lines at South Point. No, I can't. Just joking. Because I wanted to make Iowa the highest scoring team. Could have been 50,000-1. We kept them at 500-1. They didn't score. Steelers versus Patriots over, which Sean was telling me is currently about 30.5 tomorrow night. 30? It's down to 30?
Yeah, 30 flat.
30 flat. And LeBron, I would say that would be a good prop bet. Who will score more, the Steelers versus Patriots or LeBron James tomorrow night?
Yeah. Yeah.
Be a good prop because LeBron had 31 last night. He's usually around 24 to 26. He's 26.5 last night, and I had it. So there you go. That's my prop for the show. I'll talk to Chris about that. On the show later on via video will be our college football expert and Pac-12, rest in peace, Pac-12. Pac-12 guru Spencer McLaughlin will be here making his 4th appearance, I believe. That'll be his 4th appearance. But in the studio, in mere moments, we will be bringing in, for his first ever in-studio appearance, Duane Colucci.
COLUUUUUUCH.
Every time we say your name, you got to do that. Today is December 6th, 2023, and it's National Pawnbroker Day. Yeah. The national calendar people asked if they could make it like December 20th, and the pawnbroker said, best we can do is 6. Because they always screw people down out of money. All right. And more especially about it, it's show 41. We keep chugging along. We are keeping going. We're going. Show 41. And, oh, man, you had to throw it up. It's Tom Seaver is number 41. By the way, I'm going to bring in our guest right now. Let's just bring him in right now. He's from I just mentioned his name. He's always here via the video. But today, what appearance? Is this his 4th appearance, I think?
That it is.
You're in the 4-timer club. You're only behind Denny Nagel. The only one ahead of Denny Nagel is Duane Colucci from Rampart. COLUUUUUUCH.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Duane, thank you for being here, man. You're across town in Summerlin at the Rampart, which is beautiful. When you left today, you left the Rampart. How did the buffet look?
Sparkling.
Sparkling, ladies and gentlemen. It's always sparkling. Sparkling buffet. We got to get over to the Rampart to try it out. I went over there and gambled a couple weeks ago. It's such a fun time. Great people. The staff couldn't have been nicer.
Glad to hear
Yeah.
That's what we pride ourselves
Yeah,
on,
honestly,
right?
the people were amazing there.
Good,
I like
good.
these little pocket casinos around town, but Rampart, top of the list right now for me so far. Went to another couple casinos. Not as cool. I don't want to mention them by name, but
There was a new one that opened up
now the
last night.
Durango. I know. I already saw videos online, TikTok. The Vega Policy or whatever, Vegas Policy. This guy does a bunch of tours. It looked great. The sports book looks really cool.
Yeah, they've got the video wall. Looks like the SoFi Stadium scoreboard where it has the inside and the outside.
Yeah. Now, was your stepdad? Did he go?
My dad.
Your dad. Sorry, your dad. Did he go?
He was there for the opening. Yeah.
He was there for the opening. Was it packed? It was nuts.
Yeah. Jeff was also there. He said it was absolutely madhouse.
Yeah. Parles from Sports by the Book, which is coming up later today at.
Not today.
Not today's Wednesday. Duane, I can't get their schedule.
You know, he knew the Laugh Factory schedule.
Well,
like
that's at 8:30 and 10:30 every Thursday through Sunday.
But you knew all the upcoming guests and everything. And if our schedule
I have to memorize
changes
it.
week by week.
You know why? Because if you write it down for me, if you write something down hand it to me, and I look at it, I have like Weird Al Yankovic and Dan Aykroyd, somewhat of a photographic memory. That's not true, but they do. But no, I need to see it. If I can visualize it, then I can hearken back to the appearance of that piece of paper you handed me. Yeah, I'm a pretty smart guy. So, I mean, if you just give me, they're always changing. Then the holiday came around. Then Thanksgiving came around. They changed everything around. Anyway, Duane, so listen, we always talk about the jersey numbers of the episode. Today's episode 41.
Right.
Do you think of a number 41 right away, especially from the area where you're from? You're from East
Tom,
Coast.
like you said.
Tom terrific.
Yes, and I actually met him in PJ Clark's.
Oh, no way.
And it was great. I had to be like between 8 and 10 years old. He was pitching for the Reds then.
Yeah, he was in the Reds like 81, I think, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was a huge Dodger fan.
Okay.
So go right up to him to get an autograph, coaxed by my grandparents, my mom and dad. Went right up to him, told him and his wife, Nancy, I believe his wife, Red stink, I'm a Dodger fan. And he actually signed the autograph. I mean, just unbelievable class. He was just an amazing man, persona, as well as a great pitcher and definitely synonymous with the Mets. I'm from Queens, so you know how that is. And definitely, Tom Seaver.
One of the best. I mean, if you look up his stats, they're shocking. 3 Cy Youngs. Here's, so I kind of touched his hand, but I never met him. Wait, what happened? You're probably thinking. Let me tell the story. First of all, Tom Seaver, 1981 with the Reds that we're talking about around the time you met him. I think, I'm doing this off the top of my head. I think he went 14-2. And he did not win the Cy Young Award, which would have been his 4th. Do you remember who won the Cy Young in 81?
81, wow.
It was his rookie season. He caused a mania around town. Fernando Valenzuela. Fernando Mania, who he started out 8-0 with like 6 or 7 shutouts.
Exactly.
Just set baseball on fire.
The screwball.
The Scroogey, man. He had the best Scroogey, Fernando. And Tom Seaver went 14-2.
Right.
And if I'm not mistaken as well, the Reds, am I right?
14-2.
Okay, 14-2. He was pissed because Fernando, he petered out a little bit. He finished at like...
Yeah, he lost like 4 of his last 5.
Yeah. He finished at like 13-10, or what was Fernando?
13-7.
13-7. Okay. So I remember this. Now, if that was the strike year, 81, and if I remember, the Reds, they split the season into 2 halves. Right? The Reds had the best record in the National League, but they didn't win the first half. The Dodgers did, and the second half the Expos did. So the Reds, who had the most wins in the National League, didn't make the playoffs. So they were pissed about that, and Tom Seaver was pissed he didn't win the Cy Young. Went 14-2 an abbreviated season. I think he pitched a no-hitter that year. So anyway, Tom Terrific, on July 6, 1982, that was my dad's birthday, and we went to the Pirates game. They were playing the Reds. So my dad's birthday was July 6th, and it was a night game. It was during the middle of the week, but, it was summer, and there's a torrential downpour in Pittsburgh, just massive sheets of rain. We were on our way to the stadium, and it started to rain, and we're standing underneath one of the bridges, which I now think is the Roberto Clemente Bridge. And my dad's like shaking his head. I'm like, Dad, it's your birthday. Come on. Tom Seaver versus the Pirates. We got to go. We got tickets. It's like, all right. My dad kind of wanted to pull the plug on it, right? So we ended up going to the game. It was a long rain delay. So the game starts, and our seats were up here, but we snuck down. So we're in box seats. And Dale Berra came up to bat. Dale Berra, Yogi Berra's son, comes up to bat against Tom Seaver. Tom Seaver throws foul ball. I turn, and it hits off one of the facades in one of the alleyways those old cookie cutters had. And I'm running after the ball, and I slip and fall because there's puddles everywhere. Slip and fall on my tailbone, and the ball rolls right into my arm. And I pick it up, and it was my first foul ball that I ever got. And I came back, and my dad was waiting for me to emerge from this tunnel. And I'm holding the baseball with the most pride I've ever had. I'm getting chills thinking about it.
That's great.
And it was the last person to touch it was Tom Seaver, and then me. And then Dale Berra had hit it.
Right.
So it was coated in cocaine. He had a little bit of a problem, Dale Berra. Anyway, no, it wasn't.
Small problem.
So the whole Pirates in the early 80s. By the way, you want to hear something funny about the Pirates? And there's a book about it. The Pittsburgh Pirate mascot. Do you know who the Pirate mascot is, Ryan?
Nope.
Pittsburgh Parrot. The guy was the one supplying the cocaine to the players in the early 80s. The mascot. You're never going to guess what his name is. His first name's Kevin. His last name, spelled K-O-C-H, pronounced Coke.
And
Kevin Coke. There you have it. Chris Andrews will verify this. The Pirate Parrot was the one supplying the cocaine. And if you remember, the Pirate Parrot mascot used to be really thin, and then they made him chubby. It's because he got off the blow. There you go. All right, so anyway, yeah. But anyway, I got a foul ball from Tom Seaver, and I wrote on the ball July 6, 1982. I recently found it. I have it somewhere special, but that was the foul ball I got. I had a couple thrown to me by players, John Montefiusco, Enrique Romo, Terry Kennedy, but that was a ball that I got, and I was very proud of it. And I went home that night, and I took a pair of scissors, and I put a little notch in my Fruit of the Loom tighty whitey underwears and called those my lucky underwear. I know this is going to be.
You still have those.
I still have. How do you think I protect the baseball? That's made for that. You put it in there, and yeah. So I called them my lucky underwear, and my dad, till the day he passed away, probably made fun of lucky underwear. Like when I do a big TV appearance, he's like, "Are you wearing your lucky underwear?"
Right.
And I'm like, "Kind of am." I could tell you when I did a couple shows, I remember what I was wearing, but they were the tighty. I don't wear the tighty whities anymore. Only on rare occasions. No, I never do.
Retired.
Boxer briefs, guy. Boxer briefs.
Boxers, yeah.
Boxers, yeah. Ryan.
Boxers.
Wrap it up.
Anyway, other number 41s famous. Dirk Nowitzki. All right, now Dirk Nowitzki is a Hall of Fame basketball player. I loved him. Dirk Nowitzki, he's a number 41. But Ranker is an online thing. They had Dirk Nowitzki as the number 1 athlete ever to wear it. And then if you look at the honorable mention, Wes Unseld, another great player, I believe, for Washington, went on to the Hall of Fame coach, too.
Yeah.
He just passed away.
Yeah.
So I thought, is this maybe all basketball players? No, it's all athletes. They don't even have Tom Seaver on there. And then I go to Bleacher Report, and they also have a list, and their number 41 is also Dirk Nowitzki.
Wow.
It's like Tom Seaver was forgotten.
Well, it's just this is how it is, the era that we're in. Frank.
Yeah.
We're becoming Neanderthals.
Yes.
Like just old timers. So, keep that old school vibe. We remember Tom Terrific, and, I remember Dirk, deadly shooter, great player, without a doubt.
And I was a Dirk fan.
Yeah, definitely. But, no, I think Seaver is way more iconic than Dirk Nowitzki, in my opinion. But, that's the New Yorker in me.
Yeah.
You caught the ball.
I know that we have a sentimental tie to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, but Dirk Nowitzki, look, I was rooting for him. I like Dirk Nowitzki, great basketball player. But come on, Tom Seaver, one of the best ever, and had thighs like Nolan Ryan. All right, let's do Frank's Fast Takes. Should we open it up?
Stay
Stand by. We're going to open. So we have Frank's Fast Takes, and we have the voiceover of Billy Gardell as Clint Eastwood.
All right.
Here it comes.
Begin.
Well, it was there. Anyway. Comments real quick. Bob Del Pizzo. I'm a pretty smart guy. That's right, Bob. I did say that. I'm looking at live comments. Yeah, we did a cold open. Yeah, we did a cold open in Steiner's. Look, see, Bob knows. He knows the lingo. All right, so Frank's Fast Takes. We're going to do some sports birthdays. Now, we're talking basketball. And if you're talking basketball, who's the top player right now? One of the top players in the world. Giannis, and how do you say his last name, Ryan?
Antetokounmpo.
I just call him the Greek. Anytime anyone brings him up, I'm like, oh, yeah, the Greek freak.
Giannis.
Just call him Giannis.
Right?
I can't.
Why fumble that?
Antetokounmpo. Did I say it right? Antetokounmpo? Close enough?
Sure. I think Ryan's just making you say it.
I know. Anyway, happy 29th birthday. Happy 29th birthday to Giannis. We've mentioned him a lot on the show in our first 40 episodes because of his jersey number 34, and then also when he signed that big, like, bazillion-dollar contract. I don't know if you saw this. I think it was last night or the other night when he was interviewed after the game, after the Bucks game. She goes, yeah, and you get that extra money, too. And he goes, what? He goes, oh, we get extra money? She goes, yeah, like $100,000, which I think she was wrong because it's $500,000 per player. And he goes, oh, I didn't know that. I guess the rich get richer. Thanks, Giannis. Yes, we understand you're making $50 million this year. He didn't even realize that if they win the tournament, they get an extra $500,000.
Making 62.
What's that?
62 million.
Wow.
62 million this year. So what's the extra? What's he do?
500.
Well, what's he do with 500 grand? What would you do with 500 grand?
Oof. Probably bet a lot. Bet a lot of horses. I'll be honest, Frank. I'll be betting a lot of horses.
I saw you checking out the horse. South Point Casino, where we do the show live. That's a sports book right behind us. Only casino in Vegas where the sports book is separated from the horse book. So you can go over there. Fabulous. That's where all the horse guys are, right there.
We're also running Race Day Las Vegas out of the studio.
I was just going to say that. We have a new show here. We have our third show that we're doing out of the studio. Race Day
Las Vegas. And that airs, of course, everyone knows. 8 a.m.? 7
8 a.m.
7
a.m.
Yeah.
7 a.m.
Ralph does a good job.
No, Ralph's great.
Yes,
we met Ralph. What we need is on that, underneath that monitor should be a show schedule for Frank. Only just for me. Just for me.
Scroll the show.
I'm computing all these numbers, ladies and gentlemen. But Giannis, yeah. So, I mean, come on, dude. What do you think? And
well, he valued the money last night. He lit the Knicks up. He destroyed my Knicks.
And by the way, it was his 29th birthday today. You know how many points he scored last night?
29?
35. But anyway, it would have been cool if it was 29. But at one point, it was 29, right? At one point, he technically had 29, unless he was at 28 and shot a two-pointer and it went to 30. But technically, I'm not wrong. Yeah, he's unbelievable. Great ball player. So, yeah, he's excellent. And now, speaking of great ball players, here he is, Money Manziel. Johnny Manziel celebrating his 31st birthday. His body thinks it's his 51st birthday, but there he is. Johnny Manziel, what an exciting player he was in college, Duane.
Yeah, he was. He was really good in college. But, the pressure, and he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth.
He was.
His dad had massive amounts of cash. So it's so hard to motivate once you leave college and continue on. And, his problems are well documented, but he was a great college player.
Now, and of course, that picture on the far left, that was the disguise. We've used it on that was the disguise he wore when he came to Vegas. Like, was it like a couple nights before a game?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. When he's supposed to be studying the playbook, instead he dons a disguise and comes to Las Vegas to gamble and do.
Or what's he supposed to be hurt?
We're supposed to be hurt or something
at that point.
Well, I don't know, but who does he look like right there? He looks like Jake Gyllenhaal or something. I don't know. Or he looks like, I don't know what he looks like, right? That doesn't look like Johnny Manziel. Right. So Johnny Manziel, hell of a college football player. Didn't work out in the pros. When the Browns drafted him, I was like, that's the Browns being the Browns. What do you think of this college football playoff? So we got 4 teams. Were you happy with the 4 teams? Michigan going against Alabama and Washington versus Texas.
Well, obviously, Michigan wasn't happy, Frank. You could hear the moans.
We showed it. We showed that clip, right?
Yeah, and that's not a good sign. I mean, even though you got to play Alabama, Alabama was beatable this year.
Yeah.
And Florida State, definitely, they have the sour apples.
Yeah.
Undefeated team knocked out. Georgia knocked all the way down. So this is a flawed system. And I say it time and time again, you need more teams in this playoff rotation.
Well, the next year, right, we'll have 12. So
thank God. That's what's important.
And I know everyone said it, but this would have been a perfect year to have 12 teams, right?
Perfect.
It would have been perfect. I mean, why couldn't they just go, you know what, let's do it this year? But Florida State still a little upset about it. But you got to lose. You got to lose early. Georgia, you lose late. You lose in the championship. I know you've won 2 in a row. Plus, I think America kind of wants to...
Strength of schedule. SEC. That's, the SEC is the most prominent conference in college football. So they always get some extra votes there. Nick Saban, you know how he is.
Oh, boy.
Media savvy, one of the hardest-nosed coaches in college football history. So it definitely, it works out there are 4 great teams in this final.
And anyway, Johnny Manziel, great college player. Oh, by the way, do you know how many in the pros, Ryan? Do you know how many interceptions and touchdowns he had? It's the same number.
Lucky sevens.
It was. Did you know that?
Yep.
It was the sevens, and he also loved 7 and 7 because that's probably what he would drink when he would come to Vegas. Yeah, he threw 7 touchdowns, 7 picks. That's it. That's his career. That's 7 more than you and I have, though. So I shouldn't.
That is true.
He's only 31. You'd be like, man, if you could get your act together and maybe, but he just, I don't think he wants to play.
Got more money than.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. And that documentary was a little disappointing, but it was worth watching. All right, let's move on. Since we do a comedy show kind of here too, one of my favorite comedians growing up, Stephen Wright. Stephen Wright's birthday today. Stephen Wright is 68, I believe. Is that right?
Yes.
Stephen Wright fan,
Yes.
real dry.
Yeah.
From
Definitely.
Boston. I believe he made his first appearance on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. And back then that was the shot, right? If you got Carson, that
was
would
it.
propel your career. He did it, and Carson invited him back the next night to do another 6 minutes because you do a 6-minute set. So he did 6 minutes, and then the next night he did another 6 minutes. And all of a sudden he gets all these agents and all these clubs wanting to book him, and he's like, I just did every joke that I have on national TV. I got nothing. He's like, I had 2 6-minute sets. That was it. So he said it was the best thing that could happen. Obviously, it made him a star, but he had to then start writing a lot more. But yeah, he was one of the best.
He was in that movie with Chappelle, right? The Stoner movie.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I mean, there he is. I mean, he still looks great. He always had that weird haircut, which was great. But just try. Do we have his jokes running?
I should
A couple of his jokes.
some stuff since I don't have any fingerprints. My theory of evolution is that Darwin was adopted.
Right.
My uncle was a clown for Ringling Brothers Circus. And when he died, all his friends went to the funeral in one car.
That joke right there, Duane. He said, my uncle was a clown for Ringling Brothers Circus. When he died, all his friends showed up in one car. The best. He was great. He's still great. Stephen Wright, he's still out there. So happy birthday to Stephen Wright. All right. On this day in sports history, a couple magical things. Archie Griffin wins the 41st Heisman Trophy. Archie Griffin, there he is. And of course, Archie Griffin, his claim to fame, the only man to win 2 Heisman trophies. Yes. He won it in, was it 74 and 75, I believe, for Ohio State. Great college running back. Obviously, the only one to win it twice. I think a lot of people thought Caleb Williams was a shoo-in this year.
Yes.
What happened with USC this year?
They just, they didn't have it. And the Pac-12 was on a down season, I have to say, Frank. It wasn't one of them, as opposed to Jaden Daniels, who played so well on a team that wasn't really as highly ranked. So, yeah, USC definitely looking at themselves in the mirror. UCLA, a lot of these colleges. Arizona actually played probably as good as
they
most of those
the season. Yeah, I forget, but they looked really good towards the end of the year.
Right.
Caleb Williams, does he stay another year? Or he goes to the draft. He's got
to go.
Yeah, he's already said he's not playing the bowl game against Louisville, so I jumped on Louisville.
Right.
But he had a shot at winning his second one. I think didn't Tebow also? He had a shot. I think didn't he play? I think a year after he won his. But Archie Griffin still the only man to win 2. He went out to play with the Bengals because I remember having his football card and he played against the Steelers a lot. He was never a great pro, but he lasted like 7 years, so good for him on that. But I mean, to win 2 Heisman trophies, that's a set of earrings right there.
Great accomplishment.
And is he on any of those Heisman commercials, the Nissan ones? Because he should be. He should have 2 of them. I think he was on. He used to be. I haven't seen him in a while. And on the state, another Heisman trophy. In 1985, Vinny Magliulo. There's Vinny right there. Vinny won the 52nd Heisman Trophy. Vinny! Congratulations, Vinny. Oh, wait, that's a typo. Vinny Testaverde. I apologize. It's Vinny Testaverde. Won the Heisman Trophy. He went on to play for about 20 years.
Yeah.
He played forever.
For the Jets.
He played for the Jets. He played for every team almost.
Everybody.
But boy, he could sling the ball, man.
Yeah. And wasn't he colorblind, Frank? I think he was colorblind.
Was he really?
In real life, yes. I believe that Vinny Testaverde was.
Now, wait a second.
colorblind.
How the hell can you quarterback in the NFL?
He's
just looking at helmets or something.
He had talent, and definitely the jerseys, and it doesn't always pan out in the pros. For these guys who are great in college.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Usually the guys that become superstars are not that great in college,
right?
And you always see that. But Vinny had a long, illustrious career. He didn't win too much, but still played for a long time.
Played for a long time, man. He played for a real long time.
He saw white more clearly than he saw orange, and so that's why the Bucks wore white at home one year.
Right.
Oh, wow. Just for him. That's really interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So in the college football playoff, back to that, you were talking about how it's a down year for the Pac-12. it's a down year for the Pac-12, but Washington obviously undefeated.
Right.
But they're 4-point underdogs against the Big 12's Texas. So is that because the Pac-12 just the competition maybe this year, or is Texas?
I mean, there were 9 points last week that went up to 10, and that was kind of
the Oregon game
was such a big favorite. I think that Texas, they do have that win against Bama, so that's definitely on their resume. I think that the strength of schedule is what comes into play when we're making these lines, and Chris will tell you that. You have to look at the opponents and who they played during the course of the season. If there was some adversity, you're missing some key players, you always have to take that into consideration. And Washington played lights out against Oregon. Don't get me wrong.
They looked
Texas
amazing.
is a totally different scenario. I think that's going to be a tight game, though, Frank. I agree with you. I think it's still a lot of points. Washington is undervalued right now.
Okay, yeah, that's who I'm going to jump. And what do you think of the Michigan Alabama game?
Michigan played so well, and you have the cheating scandal with Harbaugh that people.
Wait,
are
what?
saying,
I didn't hear anything about that. Was that anywhere? I must have missed that story for that one day that happened. Jesus, thank God that's over. But I don't know. Do you think? Who do you like in that
could
game?
Compete there. I tell you, when the SEC starts to ride high and their best team starts to fire on all cylinders, you get real nervous, Frank. So we're going to have a ton of Alabama backers. But I know at the Rampart, there was a big Michigan clientele over the weekends. Yeah. So, and when they played their game. So it's going to be some great two-way action. I kind of like Bama a little, I'll be honest.
So if it's Bama versus Texas, and whoever wins will finish with one loss, and then you have Florida State who didn't lose a game, and they're not. So there's only one undefeated team, and they didn't win the national championship. It's weird.
And just because they're down to a third-string quarterback.
Yeah, that's why. It's the eye test. You had to do that.
That's what it is. And, you want to see the best product in this playoffs. Time and time again, we preach about it in the NFL especially, but now in college football, Frank, it's all about money.
Yeah.
This is what everybody wants to see. They want Alabama in there with a possibility to play Texas again. You want to see Michigan and Harbaugh. A lot of people rooting against them, but they had a fabulous season. And, like you said, Washington, battle-tested, deserves to be there. And Florida State, they just had an injury at the wrong time.
Yeah, they really did. Ryan, who do you like in the college football playoff? We haven't talked to you about this.
Yeah, I said I wanted to see the Alabama-Texas rematch.
You do want to see that rematch. That's right. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to – I guess the NCAA probably doesn't want Washington in there. Probably that's the team they want out of there, Pacific Northwest. I don't know. But I've watched my buddy Christian, who watches the show. I've watched every Washington game with him over the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, I watch a lot of Washington football, so I'm rooting for them because Pitt Panthers are the worst team ever, a terrible team. So I don't know. I don't know what to do.
They beat Louisville.
I know, right? Remember that?
Exactly. So, it's any given Saturday in college football, without a doubt.
Or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. You never know anymore. By the way, Vinny Testaverde wasn't the only Italian to win a Heisman Trophy. I know Chris Andrews will want me to point out that Penn State's John Cappelletti also won it. And we were talking about, I want to ask Duane about this. Brian Song, great TV movie, right?
Yes.
The Gale Sayers, Brian Piccolo story.
Definitely. James Caan
And Billy D. Williams.
Yeah.
We've been talking about the music. If you hear the music, you just start getting weepy already. But do you remember Something for Joey? It was about the John Cappelletti. When John Cappelletti had a younger brother who had leukemia and passed away. And Cappelletti for Penn State won the Heisman and won it for his little brother Joey. He ended up passing away. And they made a TV movie in 1977 with Mark Singer, who's more known for the Beastmaster, Bob Del Pizzo. But yeah, that was another really sad TV movie.
That. Yeah, I was very young when that.
I watched that a million times. That was another good one. So got a couple of times. Vinny, we got a couple of Italian winners. We got Colucci here. All right, moving on. 1992. This stat blows my mind on this day in sports history. Jerry Rice, the GOAT, the greatest wide receiver of all time, catches the then record 101st touchdown, passing Steve Largent.
Wow.
Steve Largent actually held the record. Here it is right here against the Dolphins. His 101st touchdown pass. There it is. Don Hudson. Wow, he had 99. So you think, wow, he couldn't have had many more than that. But no, Jerry Rice wasn't done by a long shot. He finished. Do you know how many touchdowns Jerry Rice finished with?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Over under, I'll say over under is 195.
Oh, a ton. He killed the Cowboys. He killed everybody.
Yeah, he killed
and Montana to Rice.
Yeah, Montana. He had 200.
And even Steve Young.
Yeah, and Steve Young. 207?
208.
208. Sorry to shortchange you, Mr. Rice.
Right.
208 touchdowns. And what me and my friend Mike O'Day always used to laugh at is you'd hear these stories every game that he'd catch all the touchdown passes. They'd point out that Jerry Rice, his dad, was a bricklayer. And his dad, instead of throwing footballs a lot to him, would throw bricks.
Wow.
He would throw bricks. And that's how he developed these strong, callous hands he attributes to catching bricks. Now, if you have a child out there that you want to groom for the NFL, I'm not condoning that you throw bricks to your child.
Training.
Yeah. Just stick with the football. Stay with the football. Start with a Nerf. Move up to a real pigskin. but he would catch bricks.
Wow.
I mean, that's tough right there. But he ended up catching 208. Well, no, I think he caught 197. He scored 208 because he had some runs. Yeah,
right, exactly.
But I mean, that seems to me an unattainable record because Ryan, our super producer over there, also put up the active touchdown list, right? Who's the active leader up there, Ryan?
Active leader is Mike Evans.
Mike Evans, who has
98?
98. He has 98. So he's
92,
not even halfway
92.
there, and Evans is 10 years in. I mean, Jerry Rice he's not going to be caught. That's one of those Cy Young won 511 games. Do you see anybody with the health of players and the way they micromanage and time or load man? 200.
Tyreek Hill has the talent, but
Right.
like you said, definitely the longevity factor and how many seasons Jerry Rice played. That's the whole key.
Yeah.
Guys like Jerry Rice, Emmitt Smith, they don't make them like they used to, where every play would go to them inside the red zone. Now there's different wrinkles and different scenarios. So like you said, Rice even ran in, 10 or so, 11 or so. So what a great
He was the best. For me growing up, he was the best football player I saw. Barry Sanders didn't have a long enough career. Jerry Rice, every Super Bowl, it was just amazing.
I have a Jerry Rice signed football.
How did you get that?
It's signed to Ryan, Jerry Rice. So one of his, I won't say favorite restaurants, but a restaurant that he has a booth for him is Sundance the Steakhouse, the one that was founded by my grandpa.
Oh, wow.
And so that was one of my Christmas gifts one year. They got him to sign.
Oh my God, that's a hell of a Christmas. Where do you have that? You have that kept safe?
Yep.
And what's your address again? I always remember you were telling me. And what room is
what
it in?
hours are you
And your security code that you have is what?
Yeah.
It's Jerry. It's 8080. It's his number twice. That's a nice football. That steakhouse was what again? Sundance?
Sundance the Steakhouse.
Again,
Yep,
there's
in
that
Palo
steakhouse
Alto.
down the street I was telling you about. Anyway, if you want to go, Silverado Steakhouse, and it's packed right now at the rodeo in town.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Silverado's unbelievable. It sparkles in there too.
Yes, it's great. I've eaten there many times. And Michael's is just another level.
Now, I haven't been allowed into Michael's yet. Well, I haven't been. Chris, I'm going to have to earn that from Chris. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever be allowed into Michael's. I don't know if I have the right attire. Ryan, sharp dresser, you could probably get into Michael's. I don't know if the Old
Maybe
Navy
someday.
T-shirts are getting me in.
Well, we'll get you into Hawthorne at Rampart. So
Okay,
yeah,
well, there you go.
fabulous,
Hawthorne is
fabulous
aw-
steak.
Hawthorne
Have
is
you been
good.
to Hawthorne?
Yep, several times.
Oh, man, I love a steak. All right, so, and one more thing on this day in sports history. This was fascinating. The 99-yard run by Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, and on his way, this is just one of the most, best runs of all time. So, do we have that? We have the video.
We didn't download it.
We didn't download it. Anyway, he
No,
had a
not
great
so.
run. So just imagine Derrick Henry running
Mean stiff
Full
arm.
blast.
and
Over
stiff
guys.
arming
Yeah.
and doing this and all that stuff.
Like that commercial
Chugging.
with State Farm. He's on, right?
What's
He's got
that?
a
Jake from State Farm?
Yeah, he's on. No, he's got a commercial now, doesn't he?
Oh, Henry? Henry, he
think
should.
yeah.
He should. I mean, the
think he's
guy.
on one of them now.
But
or
again,
something.
the most dominant runner 2 years ago, right? And he's slowing down. These runners, these running backs, they're always complaining they're not getting the
Build
long
him
term.
like Emmett.
I know.
Like Emmett Smith.
Emmett
His
Smith,
off-season
these guys who
crazy.
stick around forever. It's so hard nowadays, and I feel bad for the running backs. I mean, looking at that list of Franco Harris had 100 touchdowns, and Franco Harris broke down. He broke down fast, and he ended up with the Seahawks, and it was just awkward seeing him in that uniform. Jerry Rice, by the way, Jerry Rice's last team was either Denver or Seattle, and I think it was in camp, and he got cut.
Right.
So seeing Jerry Rice in anything but the gold and red
Out of place.
didn't look right. I mean, he looked pretty good in the Raiders. And I think, did Jerry Rice play with Buffalo? No, he never went to Buffalo. I know he was in Denver and Seattle. One of the teams cut him in spring. But
I think it was Seattle.
Seattle, yeah, I think so, Seattle. All right, so looking ahead to the NFL action, I want to look at Thursday night's game since we got you here, Duane. Probably one of the sickest looking lines of all year. My beloved Steelers, who are somehow 6-point favorites, and the over-under is 30 flat. I mean, what's going on with this in the sports book?
Well, at least your team has an injury.
Yeah.
The quarterback. is
Exactly.
out. I don't know.
Which
what's
might be
going
a
on
good
in New
thing.
England.
We don't know.
Yeah, but not with Trubisky there, I'll tell you that. But I don't know what's going on in New England. This is the whole factor of what is going on through Bill Belichick's mind.
Right.
What's going on with Zapp? What's going on, with Mac Jones, who's obviously, it's so similar how Mac Jones and Zach Wilson are right now in that same boat where, we put so much faith. We're going to take you with our number one pick. And now we could care less where you go, how you play, when you play. And New England couldn't score a thing last week, I'll be honest with you. And not that the Chargers have a bad defense, but it's not the greatest.
No one's fearing them like Cleveland or Ravens.
Definitely, it was a telling tale and a measuring stick that this is why the total is in the 30 range. We're getting into Iowa-type totals now, like an Iowa-Navy game this is going to be. The Thursday night games have lost a lot of luster. There have been some good ones like last week, and there's been some bad ones. So, definitely it's going to be interesting to see how the public perceives the matchup other than the total itself?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just going to be an ugly game. And, it's funny because Reno Paul, who's been a guest on the show, he's a giant Laker fan.
Right.
And so it's going to be opposite the Steeler game and the Laker game. So he's going to be using the PIP, picture-in-picture, which I think he's the last person on the planet who still has the TV. He goes, yeah, just picture-in-picture. I'm like, you still have that? That was a big thing.
I know.
That was a big thing.
I had one.
Yeah,
huge.
Because you'd have people over, you'd be like, hey, you guys want to watch 2 games? Bam! And then you'd have screen, you could move it around. And that was like big
We're
technology.
showing our age now.
I know.
Right?
And it was in color, Ryan. It was color. Not all of us can have Chris Andrews' office back there where he's got the 8 TVs split and he can put up everything he wants with the Turner Classic movie in the corner. But he always has that going on.
That's the best.
But yeah, I mean, the Lakers and Jeff Parles is going to the game, and I'll be watching the Steeler game. I also have some work to do. I work. This is work, this show.
I'll be working as well.
Yeah. So what's going on? What's going on at the Rampart? People got to come over and see you in Summerlin. It's a Hilton affiliated hotel. Marriott, excuse me. Marriott affiliated hotel. And it's beautiful. I loved it. I loved it. We played some blackjack. We did well.
Good. And definitely, we have the $500 cash giveaway. All you have to do is bet some football and swipe your card at the window, use the kiosk, and you're automatically in electronic drawing. You don't have to be present to win. We post it right in the Race It Sportsbook. So nobody's giving away cash, guys. We're giving away $500 cash, some free slot plays for second and third. It's huge. You bet a $50 parlay card. You get free lunch. Or $5 off our buffet. You get a coupon. All you have to do is make a $50 parlay card.
I want to do that.
Yeah, we got a ton of stuff going on at the Rampart, and we're geared up for the end of the NFL season. And like you were saying, Durango Station has opened, but they're not taking horse racing. And people who know me, I'm huge with horse racing.
Okay.
I'm definitely one of the, I push it.
Yeah.
And it's been a dying industry, don't get me wrong. But people my age and trying to attract the younger age is what the restriction is. But we're definitely rolling out the red carpet. We're very liberal with our comp points. Best comps in town for horse racing. Comp racing forms as long as you play on a consistent basis. And the Rampart is really happening, I'll tell you. It's a hidden gem.
Listen, it really is. And I love the horses because I used to go to the track with my dad. He'd come to LA and visit. We'd go to Santa Anita. Best. So, and you said, so you're saying younger clientele aren't watching horses as much? Is that
right?
You know, that's really, because I'll tell you, if they go to a horse race, if you go see the horses come out of the paddock and parade, by you, and then you see them in the starting gate and the atmosphere of a horse race, I mean, it's those 2 or 3 minutes are some of the funnest.
All you need is a weekend at Del Mar. And
I've never been to Del Mar.
Anybody.
Okay.
I can convert any young person into betting horses. All you need is a weekend at Del Mar, even a weekend at Saratoga. But Del Mar, you got the beach atmosphere. So many more ladies are there. Definitely. It's incredible.
Phillies? You mean Phillies?
Yes,
are you
Phillies.
Speaking of?
Yes, especially they used to run on the opening day every year. It was called the Cougar Handicap. Forget about it, Frank. You couldn't believe the amount of women that would be
we're
there.
going to Del Mar.
Without a doubt. Hit up Vincennes. Unbelievable. And it would be the stories, guys. The men's bathroom, women would be pushing men out of the way to get into the bathroom because it was so packed. Yeah. I mean, you would have
classy ladies is what we're saying.
Yes, exactly. Ever since we've had the COVID limitations, it's been different for the on-track attendance. But those opening days, you used to get 100,000 plus in that small racetrack, and it was just off the hook. And
have you ever been to the Derby or the Preakness or the Belmont?
The Belmont several times. I've been to the Breeders' Cup several times.
Yeah, Breeders.
Never been to Churchill Downs, unfortunately. I've been to Pimlico, but not the Preakness. I hear that's in.
Maybe we should do like a live show from Churchill Downs, Kentucky Derby next year.
You want to
make that happen? Yeah, Ann, make that happen. Let's do that. Chris, make it happen. Let's do it. We'll do a live thing. And the last thing I want to talk about, the NFL action, you are in this bookie thing. What is this competition that you're in? Explain, because I wanted to talk about it last time you were on. I forgot. So explain what this is.
Okay, the Gaming Today bookie battle, it's been around for 30, 40 years.
Okay.
And it's synonymous with the football season. They used to have a print publication where you would pick up at the Race It Sportsbook here at South Point at the Rampart each week in, week out. Now they've gone strictly digital. But this competition includes every legalized bookmaker basically in the United States now.
Wow.
And, I've been leading now for the 13 straight weeks of the NFL season, all 13 weeks. I have a 5-game lead right now. I'm trying to keep it going. You have to put in your picks every game against the spread, Frank, by Thursday, before the Thursday night kickoff. about an hour before. So it's not an easy contest. I finished second a couple of years ago, won the playoffs one year. So very competitive.
Is there a prize for this, or is it just prize?
Yeah. Each quarter, they give out $500 for the quarter leader who has the best record. So I had the best record the first quarter, and now just recently the third quarter.
Okay.
So I got $1,000 already,
nice.
and I believe it's $3,000 for the total prize.
Do you want to look in your camera and talk trash to anyone who's trailing you right now?
You know, I don't, because we all respect each other.
I got you. I'm number one.
We all respect each other, and we want to keep it friendly. Maybe talk a little smack if I win it all. But, I had the lead that one year. I actually had 2 years ago, Frank. I had a perfect record one week and still lost. Got caught in the last week. So, think about it. If somebody loses 5 or 6 games and still goes 11-4, 10-5, I had 14, 15-0, and you gain that many games, and I still got caught. So
all right, now, you don't have to give away any. Do you have a couple picks you might want to give us? Looking at the sheet.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. It's definitely going to be a tough week. Everybody's going to be picking against the Jets, even though Houston has a couple of injuries. You know that. You definitely circle that. The Chargers at home, they're very difficult to beat at home, but it's a marquee matchup against the Broncos, who hung in there till the late stages of that last game. And I'll definitely be looking. It's so hard to bet the Patriots. I had them last week. All I needed was a field goal, and they couldn't get anything. So that was one of the losses I suffered. I'm definitely going to have to be a little sharper this week. I think the consensus last week, guys, was 4-8. And I think I had like 5 or 6 winners. So I have to improve on that, especially if I want to win the last quarter. Chiefs and Bills, massive matchup.
Yeah. And you got Philly and you like the Chiefs?
Yeah. I just don't believe in Josh Allen on the big stage. He could win some games, but you saw how he constantly makes mistakes. They had the Eagles. He had Davis wide open, and he throws it in the other direction. So, I love Josh Allen's talent level, right? But
he threw his helmet, Davis. And what do you think about
the Cowboys?
Dallas,
I'm going to stick with the Cowboys.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the one advantage I would say that the public has, or the other bookmakers against me. I almost pick Dallas every single week. So, I'm a homer. I love my Cowboys. This is a big matchup, though. We really have to make a statement. And the Eagles are susceptible now. You saw they got blown out by San Francisco, but who doesn't when San Francisco plays at that level? Yeah. If Hurts is banged up, Dallas will take advantage.
I feel like if Jerry Rice wanted to come out of retirement, he could probably play for the Niners. He could probably get 3 or 4 catches a game, maybe score a game. They have so many options. Purdy will find him.
Yes.
That guy's been amazing. He leads the NFL in every category. He was Mr. Irrelevant. All right, well, good luck with the bookie thing.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm probably going to take the under on Thursday night from Frankie Overs. I'm going to probably take an under on that 30 points.
Take a flyer.
I'm going to do it. It's
shocking.
Painful for me to do it, but I'm going to do it. We had a comment here. Sean Higgs, he's 49. He's been to the track twice in his life. Got to get to the track, Sean. You got to bring the younger people with you, brother. And then let's see here. Shame or station casinos for Durango, book folks look horrible. Yeah, South Point, horse friendly. Yes. Thank you for that, South Park. Thank you, Mindar. All right, we're going to take a 2-minute break, and then we got my man Spencer, who is going to blow our minds with numbers as he always does. We'll be right back. Duane Colucci, everybody.
COLUUUUUUCH.
Be right back.
Enjoy live entertainment at the Grandview Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show. Every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grandview Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grandview Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
All right, welcome back to Punchlines. I'm Frank Nicotero. Reno Paul, who lives in Reno, and his name is Paul. He has a spider parlay today. Orlando Magic plus 4.5. 76ers Wizards under 239. Atlanta Hawks 3.5. He's got. It's in the live comments if you want to take a look at it. How much does this pay? $25. We'll pay $3,035. His goal in life is to have one of those TikToks where it's someone with the big payoff on a $5 parlay. So this could be it, everybody. This could be it. Do you like that? But you like that one, Ryan?
I responded and I said it's hard to rely on the Bulls. I know they're playing the Hornets tonight, but Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan should be back in the lineup, and with them in the lineup, it hasn't.
And Sean,
looked good.
Sean, our NBA guy, you might want to take a look at that spider parlay Reno Paul put up.
I don't like that under for the Wizards.
He doesn't like the Wizards under. All right,
yeah,
Paul.
The Wizards don't play defense.
You have some detractors. Maybe adjust to what they're tipping. But anyway, all right, we're going to bring in a gentleman. Is this his fourth appearance?
This is his fourth appearance.
He's in the four-timer club with COLUUUUUCH. They're both four-timers. COLUUUUUUCH. We have to say it. We can say it for him too. It's our Pac-12 expert, college football, Pacific Northwest guy. We're going to talk about UW. Spencer McLaughlin is here.
Play-by-play guy for Southern Utah.
That's it. Play-by-play for Southern Utah, Mountain West, right?
McLaughlin.
The whack, baby. The whack. Western Athletic Conference. The wacky whack, though the Mountain West is a more than respectable conference, but good to be back with you, Frank.
And Spencer, as always, it's a pleasure. And I always love Spencer, who's a baseball fan like me as well. Sporting a Mariners. It's December. He's wearing a Mariners t-shirt. I love it. And what is the deal with that trade they made with the Braves? And by the way, Marco Gonzalez was then flipped to the Pirates, which I'm happy with. I'll take him. He'll eat some innings for us. But they traded away Jared Kelenic, right? Or
They got rid of Kelenic. They got rid of Marco. They got rid of Evan White. That's what you call a cap space move or a setup move. So I'm doing something that I do almost every year. My brother and I both, not at the same time, but we both watched all 8 Harry Potter movies every Christmas season because they're Christmas movies and they're fantastic. And so the worst of all the Harry Potter movies is far and away the Half-Blood Prince, right? It's the 6th movie. And the reason that it is the worst movie is because it is a setup movie. Everything that happens in it is just setting you up for 7 part 1 and 7 part 2,
right,
which are both fantastic. But this move better be a Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince for the Mariners. It's got to be a setup move. I mean, you're getting rid of Kelenic, who, was a contributing player last year and a good one.
Young,
not the superstar he was billed as a prospect, but he's somebody who, turned into like 250, 20 to 25 homers, good defense. Like if you can be that sort of guy, if that's your number 3 outfielder, that's a pretty darn good outfield that you'd have there. Marco was a guy who, I think it was just kind of time to move on from, and he had a contract. And then Evan White, that whole thing was just a mess. They gave him a contract before he even took a single pitch at the plate or play in the field as a Major League Baseball
Corbin
player.
Carroll, right? Yeah, right.
They were banking on him becoming something, and if he had become what his potential was, great defensive first baseman, if you become a good hitter as well, first baseman in the future, it would have been a steal of a contract. Instead, he doesn't play at all. So you're paying money to a guy that literally does not play. I don't even play him in my MLB The Show season. Like, he's just not that kind of guy. So you're getting rid of those 3 guys. It's got to be to make another move because you needed to offshoot the payroll.
Shohei Ohtani? Is that?
Would you want to swoop in on Juan Soto?
Oh!
I am interested in Juan Soto. I am interested in Juan Soto. I am interested in Ohtani. I am interested in Randy Arozarena. But there's this hilarious meme. Do you guys? Ryan probably does. Frank, you're older. Sorry, but I think that you.
Wow, Spencer, that's all the time we have for Punchlines. Live in Nevada, every show.
Nice.
Yeah, Ryan, the meme where it's Drake going like this? You say no to something, but then he's like, for something. The Mariners offseason started needing a corner outfielder, a third baseman, and a DH.
Okay.
And that was Drake going no. But then Drake going yes is to the Mariners' current predicament, which is they need a third baseman, a DH, an outfielder, and another bat, which they have literally added. Oh, and a second baseman. That's what it is. So it's like they needed 3 positions when the offseason began, and now they need 5. So things are going great.
Wow. First of all, welcome to being a Pirate fan. I understand how that is every year.
God.
Second of all, what is a meme? Third of all, and if it's about Drake, I've met Drake a few times, as Ryan knows.
In the bathroom.
A very funny story. I've met Drake in the bathroom. I'm not going to give it away on the show, but yes, I've met Drake twice in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's a great setup to just leave people to their imagination. I met Drake in the bathroom.
You would have to come see me live doing stand-up to hear the whole story. But yes, so I know what a meme is. I'm on TikTok. I'm down.
This is what you get for saying I don't know what a radio is.
No, I know. Yeah, but I know you know what a radio. Oh God. All right, we've lost control. Spencer, let's get back. So enough baseball talk. Yeah. But Shohei or Juan Soto, yeah, they would look good and they'd be amazing in Seattle. I like the Mariners. I always did since Rupert Jones back in those days and Jay. We're having fun now. So listen, let's talk. Why, Spencer? You're our Pac-12 guy, man. You're an Oregon Ducks guy. Sorry about the Ducks. Did you see that coming? Obviously we had them. They were 9.5, 10-point favorites. No one saw it coming, and it was. Washington came out and just shocked everybody. What were your reactions watching that game?
Yeah, Washington was just more prepared from the get-go, and that's been, a consistent thing for the Ducks this year is they haven't gotten off to many slow starts. There have been a couple, but every team does at some point. On the whole, Oregon comes out with a game plan and a mindset where they're ready to attack and get off to a strong start, and they just weren't. They couldn't get off the field on third down on defense, and they did hold to a field goal, but then the offense comes out and they go 3 and out, and all of a sudden you're looking at the defense being on the field in the first quarter for I think damn near 11 minutes. The offense couldn't possess the ball, wasn't doing them any favors, and you're staring at the 20-3 deficit. And I just did not think that with the way Washington had been playing, they were capable. I knew they were capable of winning the football game. I didn't think they were capable of, outscoring the Ducks for a stretch by 17 points and just completely dominating on both sides of the ball, dominating the line of scrimmage as well. Like Oregon got outplayed. They still had chances to win the football game because they are really good. And they eventually, got into a little bit of a groove there before the half and carried that over into the second half when they went on a 21-point run. But, ultimately, Michael Penix just apparently loves playing Oregon, and they had a great game plan offensively, and Washington's receivers are just way better than what Oregon safeties were able to cover. And, it was a thrilling game. I was texting with our Locked On Huskies guy at the network, Roman Tomashoff, who does a great job. And I'd gotten a text from our boss who's an Auburn guy, and he said, "Hey, can Oregon and Washington play 5 times a year?" And I said, "No, my heart cannot, physically cannot take it. Like, I'm at that game in the press box. My resting heart rate had to be at least 110. Just sitting there, like waiting for 2nd and 6. And my heart is just beating like straight out of my chest. And I was texting Rome, and he was like, I can't take this. I can't. His team won, but the game was always kind of in doubt because you knew Oregon was going to make a run, which they did, and it was close, and came down to the end, and then Oregon made it interesting with the long, quick touchdown with 2:20 to go and whatnot. And it is a stressful thing, and Washington just, has Oregon's number right now. They're the better football team. And they deserve to be in the playoffs.
Now, Spencer, I see that Pac-12 flag behind you. What do you do with that now? What happens to the Pac-12 flag? Do you leave it there in tribute?
Well, I could just take something and just block it out. Yeah, I gotta adjudicate my risk. There we go. There we go. Yeah, we're Pac-2, baby. we're Pac-2. No, it's. It's an unfortunate situation for many reasons, but I think the Beavs and Cougs are basically just going to operate as independents.
Yeah.
They're still going to play under the Pac label, but there are only going to be 2 teams in the league. But I think they'll keep doing that because it'll leave open the possibility of maybe rebuilding the league starting in 2025 into the best G5 conference in America. Like you could reasonably do that. I think you look at a couple teams in the American and say, let's pull a couple from there and increase our geographical diversity and just take the cream of the crop from the Mountain West and everything like that. But one thing that makes that complicated is the Mountain West reportedly there was going to be a scheduling alliance, and then Oregon State said, no, we're not doing that, but then they kind of did that. I'm not clear as to whether or not this detail that was speculated ahead of time was included, which is that there's a financial penalty if Oregon State and Washington State attempt to pull the best teams from the Mountain West, essentially.
Wow.
And so that was reported, I think, under a different scheduling model than what actually came to fruition, but they do have an alliance that the Mountain West and Oregon State and Washington State announced, which is the Beavs and the Cougs will play 6 Mountain West teams in 2024. But I don't know if that principle got applied to that situation. That was never really made clear. But so, they're just going to be treated as independents. You know what BYU was until this year, what Liberty was for a while, what Notre Dame still
does. Yeah. So what do you think of the college football playoffs? So right now, Washington's the long shot. The Pac-12 is the long shot. I've watched most of Washington's games this year. What are your takes on the matchups? And did Florida State belong in? No, they didn't.
No, Florida State did not belong in.
Exactly. All right. So what do you think of the two matchups? Who do you like and who's your national champion?
I don't know that I've got a national champion yet because I need to see how these teams play against one another a little bit.
Okay.
But I think that you've got a shootout and a slugfest. I think those are your two games. And I actually was on a different show and a live reaction show to the college football playoff rankings, and I said that particular line. I said, Texas Washington is shootout, and Bama Michigan is a slugfest. The over-unders for those games were 64 in the Texas Washington game and 46, I think, in the Bama Michigan game there. So there it is. So I think that they're going to be fantastic matchups. They're going to look very, very different on paper. I don't know that I can predict a national champion until I see, who actually ends up winning. Because I like in the semifinal games. I mean, I didn't mean like, I'm going to wait and see who the national champion is. Be like, that was my pick. That was my squad right there. I had them, but I think you've got. I am a huge advocate of making college football as different from the NFL as possible, because that's what makes it great. I do think that they've achieved something that the NFL has thrived with this year, which is true parity and a sense of we don't know who's going to win.
Right.
Like if I told you right now, Nick Saban wins the national championship, that surprising anybody? If I told you right now, Texas breaks through with the way they've been playing, is that surprising anybody? If I told you right now, Michael Penix is back to being himself and Washington's receivers are doing their best impression of 2019 LSU with those guys, is that ridiculous? Is Michigan just the best team? They could be, but I think Washington's resume is actually stronger than Michigan's. The committee just kind of tied their hands there throughout the season. But, on Florida State, I get why their fans are upset. But what I'd say to Florida State fans is whether this outcome happened or you got the outcome that you think you wanted, you are a Jordan Travis injury away from contending for a national championship. I got news for you. You weren't going to score a touchdown against Michigan without Jordan Travis. Sorry, that's not going to happen. I watched you play for 2 games against a good Louisville team, not great, but good, and a poor Florida team. And I watched you struggle to move the ball over and over. I don't care if it's the number 2 guy or the number 3 guy. Cardale Jones ain't walking through that door. And you were going to go up against Michigan, and you were going to get absolutely dog walked and not score an offensive touchdown. So I think that it's the same outcome no matter what.
Cardale Jones, that guy, when he was at Ohio State, man, remember that year, that magical run he had? He was a beast.
Yes.
And then nothing
yes.
ever.
Frank, who did they beat in the national championship game?
Was that Oregon?
Yes.
I'm really sorry. Who was the Oregon quarterback? Was it Mariota? No, who was it?
This guy, Marcus Mariota. He was pretty good.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He was quite good.
That's like someone bringing up the 92 Braves Pirates playoffs. I apologize. I forgot. I'm like, that Cardale Jones. But he was a hell of a player.
Okay. That one doesn't actually bug me. Like 2010 against Auburn, that bugs me.
Okay.
That game will always bug me.
Why?
But 2014, right. I mean, it's technically 2015, whatever, against Ohio State, got outplayed.
Yeah.
Got outplayed, outcoached. They gave it a good swing. They had a great team. Couple injuries at receiver. Like that one doesn't bother me as a fan. Okay. 2010 bothers me.
All right. Now I know you're a big video game fan. You got your console right behind you, right? Did you see the new Grand Theft Auto trailer that was leaked?
I have never played Grand Theft Auto.
Ryan, have you ever played Grand Theft Auto?
I played Grand Theft Auto.
Did you see the trailer?
Yes, I did.
It looks insane.
Did you realize that most of that trailer is actual clips of Florida people? that they put in the game?
They did. They looked exactly like Florida, man. I mean, it looked exactly like it. I mean, it looks so. So you're watching this, you're salivating, you're like, this is going to be great, and then the end it says release date 2025. It's like, what? We have to wait over a year for that?
Yep.
I mean, look, I played Grand Theft Auto. I had played, was it Miami, the Vice one?
Miami Vice?
Whatever, that one, Vice City or whatever. It was excellent.
Vice City.
I used cheat codes. I drop a tank in. I didn't care. I got to the end and I won. And I remember the guy walks away and I just set the remote down, exhaled, and then didn't touch a video game console for like a year because it was like so exhausting. But that new one, holy mackerel, does that look amazing.
Spencer, one thing I want to talk to you about. Last night you were in Salt Lake City.
I was.
Our Thunderbirds almost had it. They played against the Utes. How was that game?
God, it was awesome. It was fantastic. Really from the jump. And there were two moments where Utah built a 15-point lead in the first half and a 17-point lead in the second half. And Southern Utah, they just kept on fighting. They just kept on coming and would not let Utah run away with the game. And it was a massive point spread. I think it was 24 and a half by the time.
Wow, okay, was it? Wow.
Yeah, it was a massive point spread. Utah was without Brandon Carlson. They're all Pac-12 big men, and that certainly played a role. And Southern Utah is a team that doesn't have a lot of size. They're a small ball team, but they can shoot, and they hit 12 threes, which was a season high yesterday. And they trailing by 15, getting it down to 4, and ultimately trailing by 7 because of a missed travel call at the half was a great spot to be. Then you come out and in the first 4 minutes go minus 10. You're down by 17 and thinking, oh, well, Utah just played. And then they just kept on fighting. Just scrap, fight, claw, get your way back into it, shoot your way back into it. And they ended up losing the game by 2, came down to the final minute, and Utah was able to just execute in a couple key spots. But yeah, I mean, second time this year, they've played a team out of a bigger conference in-state on the road, and they've put more than a tiny scare into them. They did against Utah State back on November 14th, and yeah, heck of a couple of games to call.
Do you think they can build on it and compete in the WAC this year with a new coach? Or
so that's
GCU
the question.
beating San Diego State last night?
Yeah, I mean, GCU is really good. Their talent is insane, and Bryce Drew's a heck of a coach, and they're the favorites, and they should be. And heck, they might be ranked when the next AP poll comes out, and I wouldn't be that surprised. So I think that for Southern Utah, the key is consistency. They're such a young team. You've got Braden Housley starting at point guard. He's playing his first college basketball games right here, right now. He redshirted all of last year. You've got Parsifal in the front court who hadn't made a start until this season. You got a bunch of newcomers. Dom Ford has got a bigger role with SU than he had with Idaho last year. Like there are just a lot of components that, their youth and inexperience shows through sometimes, particularly on the defensive end of the floor. And Coach Jeter's very aware of that. But, consistency is the key for them because they play that game against Utah State, and then they play their first league game against California Baptist on their home court, and they got killed. Wow. It was close at the half. And then CBU in the second half just ran away with it. They were completely in control. So putting forth that sort of effort, game in and game out, is going to be the key. But at their peak, yeah, they can be a team that, at the very least scares some other teams. Because in college basketball, what's the key to pulling upsets? It's always guard play. Think about every Cinderella story in March Madness or every big upset.
That's true.
You've always got great guard play. And the best teams that win the national championship, by the way, great guard play. That's I think UConn last year was the closest exception that I've seen to not being fully guard dependent because they had that big dude in the middle who was a beast. But every single team that does well, like when I'm looking at the March Madness bracket and think about, who could win and everything, I look at who's got the best point guard play, and that's usually what carries you in college basketball.
That's a good tip. All right, Spencer, thank you. Where can people find you, and where can people follow you? Because we want as many of our subscribers to follow you as well. Because I'm
on Twitter at Smalls_55 is my personal account. I host Locked On Pac-12 and Locked On Ducks, the latter of which I need to record once we hop off here for today because we got back at 1:30 in the morning yesterday, so I wasn't exactly in the mood to do a show.
You were calling the game, geez.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I host them Monday through Friday on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. And I think I should add to my bio frequent guest of punchlines with
There
you.
you go.
Please
There
do.
you go.
You will
Mildly
be
old
back.
guy, Frank
All right.
Nicotero.
I love it, buddy. And last thing, we're running out of time, but you said that Harry Potter movies are Christmas movies. Yes or no?
Yes.
Die Hard Christmas movie or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
that's
Correct answer.
Yeah.
I knew he'd have the correct answer. All right, Spencer, thank you so much for joining us. Spencer McLaughlin, always like a professor
Yep,
on the show,
anytime.
man. His numbers, outstanding. Thank you to
Thank you,
Duane Colucci, coming in live. And want to add that David Sanders says, GTA looks like a news feed from Florida, including the alligator. Yeah, that's your stepdad, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's funny, David, but it looks amazing. Anyway, another great show here. Thank you. And I want to apologize for yesterday and today, because yesterday I was on a two-shot and I went like this. I itched my head and I looked and she immediately cut off. And then today I did a big cough on camera. I should always look, so that's my fault. I know you're always looking. Rookie mistake.
There's also one that you scratched your face real hard.
Well, that's the meth. All right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. We have an NFL player coming on tomorrow.
Starting tight end for the New York Giants, Daniel Bellinger.
Daniel Bellinger will be on the show. So thank you, everybody, for watching the show. Keep subscribing. We're up to 790. 790. We're coming up on Josh Gibson's 800. We want to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. Share this show, please. You guys are doing our work for us. We really appreciate it. We hope we entertain you. We'll see you tomorrow with another Punchlines Lines live in Nevada. Every show.